Creating regulation scales supports students to understand themselves and develop the skills they need to self-regulate. Educators, children and young people and families can all benefit from understanding that their brains and bodies impact their behaviour. Individuals are only able to think, learn and make choices when their brains and bodies are calm or balanced between the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. When the sympathetic is dominant, the individual's emotions are in control, and when overloaded, the survival instinct or reptile brain is in control. Creating a regulation plan with students can help both staff and students understand and or identify when and why those students are chilled or calm, ready to learn, becoming dysregulated, or they're already dysregulated and experiencing big emotions and not able to engage with learning, or when they're totally overwhelmed. Young students will benefit from these plans being co-developed with parents, carers, and or adults within the class who know them very well. This activity can only be done when students are regulated. As mentioned, parent-carer input is required for younger students, but is useful for all students. It really helps students to have access to a selection of pictures to choose from to represent each zone, and these need to be meaningful for the students themselves. They can be related to student interests or favourite characters. Adults should ask open-ended questions or provide options to choose from, and the scales are living documents which need to be reviewed termly and updated as necessary. Before starting to complete this table, the class or group should do an interoception activity so that they are relaxed. Ask the students why they're relaxed or calm and how their body feels. They can draw or write or glue pictures into each of the two boxes. Before starting to complete this table, the class or group could listen to some music or a story so that their brains are engaged in the learning zone. Ask the students why they are feeling balanced and how their body feels. They can draw or write or glue pictures into each of the two boxes. The class or group could complete this table just after doing another learning activity that is slightly challenging. Ask the students why they are in the learning zone and how their body feels. Again, they can draw or write or glue pictures into each of the two boxes. The class or group can complete this table by thinking about when they have big emotions. It cannot be done when the students are experiencing big emotions. Ask the students why they get their big emotions and how their body feels then. They can draw or write or glue pictures into each of the two boxes. Again, the class or group or individual complete this table by thinking about when they get overwhelmed. They may use the word shutdown or meltdown or overwhelmed for this state. It cannot be done when the students are in this state. Ask the students why they get overwhelmed and how their body feels then. They can draw or write or glue pictures into each of the two boxes. Students may be able to skip the prior steps and go straight into completing a whole regulation scale for themselves. This should be done with one or more adults who know them well. It is a living document and should be reviewed and updated termly. If students have done all the prior steps, an adult can help transfer all the information into the complete regulation scale template. Board make an example of a completed regulation scale. This child's passion was the ocean, so they chose pictures for each zone that were meaningful to them. And this is an example from a junior primary student who is highly literate and wanted to have a lot of detail in their regulation scale. The details in the last column were refined each term and were effective when used by both regular and relief staff.